Hello guys, how are you today? I hope you're doing amazing. So today I'll be explaining the Math AMS quiz of Term 2, Week 10. Now let's start with the first question. The graph below represents for the year 2000 the median height of both males and females between 10 and 20 years old in Zland. Now, since 1985, the median height of 20-year-old males had increased by 1.6 centimeters. So that means x plus 1.6 centimeter will become 177.8 centimeter. This is a very logical question. What was the median height of 20-year-old male in 1985? Very simply, you're going to bring this to the other side. So x will be equal to 177.8 centimeters minus 1.6, which will give us 176.2 centimeters. So we move on to the second part of the question. Which two explanations demonstrate how the graphs show that on average the growth rate for girls slows down after 13 years of age? The rate of change of the graph decreases from 13 years on. This is true. This is one of the options. So as you can see, the rate of change, meaning the slope of the graph, will decrease. As you can see here, the slope is very steep, then it will become almost flat, so the slope does decrease. Now the female's line starts decreasing after 13. This is incorrect because it's not decreasing, no, it's just becoming stable, the same height, because of course you cannot grow shorter. After 13, the curve is lower for females than for males. Again, the curve is not lower, it's just becoming steeper. The curve, if it was lower, it would be like this, something like this. This is not happening, no. And then finally, from 10 to 13, the curve increases by about 20 centimeters. From 13 to 20, it increases only about 7. Yes, this is an option. So as you can see, from 10 to 13, we were 160, 140. This is 20 centimeter difference. Whereas from 13 to 15, I believe they took 165 to 160, this is 5 centimeters. So yes, or from 13 to 20, yeah, then it would be 7 centimeters. Now, according to this graph, during which period in their life are females taller than males of the same age? Usually this is during puberty, or like before puberty. The girls grow faster than the guys. You can use your logic and your common sense, or you can go back to look in the graph and you can say, okay, in the graph, when are females taller than males? Of course, look up, you will see that males is blue, females is orange. And you will see that the females are taller, and in this specific part of their life, which is from 10 to 14, or more specifically 13. So from 10 to 13, or 10 to 14. So yes, this is pretty much it for question number 1. We'll move on to question number 2. Iyad is preparing a tutorial video about building a timber border around, this is our keyword, around a garden bed. He has 24 meters of timber to build the border. He is considering the following designs for the garden bed. Now, specific keywords I'm going to tell you. Around means you need to use the perimeter. However, if they told you that they want to fill it, then you have to use the volume. So here they asked us around, so we're going to be using the perimeter. And they said that Iyad only has 24 meters of timber to build. So let us find the perimeter of each one. There might be more than one answer, we don't know. And then we will be able to find how much timber he used. So just like approximate the answers. You can take this as half of 9, so this becomes 4.5 meters. You can take this as half of 3 meters, so 1.5 meter. You can take this as a quarter of 9. Why? Because the other quarter would be over here, and you put them together, they make 4.5. So look what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the height different than the length, or the width different than the length. So this would be 1.5 meter. Then this over here is 2.25 meter. Then all of this is 9, and again this is 2.25 meter. And then don't forget these over here, 1.5 meter, 1.5 meter, and 1.5 meter. So now you add them all, because this is our perimeter. So 4.5 plus 1.5 plus 2.25 plus 1.5 plus 9 plus 1.5 plus 2.25 plus 1.5. You add them all together, they will give you 24 meters. And yes, A is one of the answers. We move on to part B. As you can see in part B, this is not half of 9, this is actually 3/4 of 9. So 3/4 times 9, put it on the calculator. You will get 6.75. So this is 6.75. Again, we will take this as half, so 1.5. Then this over here is the remaining, so it's going to be 6.75, or sorry, 9 minus 6.75, which is 2.25. And then again, we have 1.5. And then again, we have 6.75. And then again, we have we have 9 minus 6.75, which is 2.25. And then again, here we have 1.5 and 1.5. So if you add them all together, 6.75 plus 1.5 plus 2.25 plus 1.5 again plus 6.75 plus 1.5 plus 2.25 plus 1.5 again, you are gonna get 24 meters. So that means B is the second option. If we go to part C, and we do it again, and we find the perimeter, we're gonna have 3 here, 9 here, 3, so it's 3 plus 9 plus 3 plus 9. Put it on your calculator, you will get 24, so C is also an option. Now for part D, we need to find the length of this side. To find the length of this side, okay, but what we could take is we could take this over here. We know that this is a right triangle, and we know that the height over here is 1.5. Another thing I want to tell you is that if you were to elongate it and continue with it, you would make a square, okay? So since you are making it a square, to find the value of the diagonal, you could take this as also 1.5, then you can do radical 1.5 squared plus 1.5 squared to get 3 radical 2 over 2. Now, we have this height over here, which is 1.5. Of course, we're only going to be using the side, so we're not going to use this or this. This was just used to find the side. So we have 1.5, we have 9, we have 9 again, we have again 1.5 over here, and then again we have 3 radical 2 over 2. So if you add them all together, 9 plus 1.5 plus 1.5 plus 3 radical 2 over 2 plus 3 radical 2 over 2, you are going to get an answer which is approximately equal to 25.243. And as you can see, it's bigger than 24, so D is not an answer. We move on to question number 3. Question number 3 is a very important question, so please pay attention. Referring to the figure below, OABC is a parallelogram, meaning that opposite sides are parallel and congruent. And O is the origin, M is the midpoint of AB, meaning that AM is equal to half of AB. And CX to XB, so CX to XB is 5 to 1, so that means the total length is 6. OA is Q and OC is P. Now, they need the value of AM. Very simply, AM. You have many ways to solve it. You have a long way, or you have the very short way, which is logical. AM, as we know, it is equal to half of AB. And as you can see, AB is equal to what? It is equal to P, because they are parallel and congruent. So AM is half of AB. AB is equal to P. So by transition or by substitution, you will get that half of P is equal to AM. So very simply, AM is equal to half of P. We move to the next question, which is MX. We need to find MX. MX, very simply, as you can see, remember, when we are drawing a line, we have to start the terminal point with the terminal point, or like the initial point with initial point, and then the terminal point with the terminal point. So as you can see over here, it will look something like this. So that means MX is equal to MB plus BX. Okay? We know that MB is half of P. So actually MB is half of what? MB is half of AB, and we know that AB is equal to P because they are parallel and congruent. So then that means MB is half of P, so we already have it as half of P, plus BX we know that cx to xb is what? It is 5 to 1, so the total is 6, all right? So if we are dealing with bx, it's gonna be 1 over 6, but if we want it in terms of p and q, you can see that q is going up like this, but bx is going down like this. So instead of the plus, you are gonna put minus. So it becomes 1 over 2p minus 1 over 6q. So again, it becomes 1 over 2p minus 1 over 6q. Now, OX, this is a very nice part. OX written in simplest form. OX is like this. We start from the initial point and initial point, and then terminal point with terminal point. So as you can see, OX is equal to what? It's equal to OC plus CX. I put them on top of each other because they don't fit. But, okay? Now, we'll just remember that what? That OX is equal to OC plus CX. Now, given the information above, we know that first of all, OC is P, and CX, CX 2XB 5 to 1, the total is 6. Okay, so that means CX is 5 over 6 of Q, but it's going in the same direction or opposite direction. It's going in the same direction, so we can keep it as positive. So P plus 5 over 6 of Q. Now, this one is a very interesting part. We need to use similar triangles. So, AB and OX are extended to meet at point F. OF, written in simplest form, is equal to. So let us expand AB and OX. AB expanded. OX, my bad, expanded. They meet over here. So this is point F. Now, they are telling us that they need the value of OF. Here, this is a very tricky part. So what we're gonna do, as I said before, we're gonna use similar triangles. Now what we're gonna do over here is we're gonna take two lines, which is this line over here and this line over here. Now what we're gonna do is that, as you can see, we have triangles. We have this triangle over here and this triangle over here. Sorry for the bad tracing. Okay, but what we're gonna do, okay, is we're gonna take the lines as full, all right? Because we need to find what? We need to find the full of OF. So what we could do is we could take OF, which is the big line, over OX, which is the small line. It is equal to CB, which is the big line, okay, over CX, which is the smaller line. And then we can do cross multiplication. Now OF, we need to find it, okay? And OX, we found it in the previous answer, which is P plus 5 over 6Q. It is equal to what? It is equal to CB, which is Q, okay, over CX, and CX is 5 over 6Q. So we do cross multiplication. We are gonna get 5 over 6 Q, which is OF. Okay, so we said again that 5 over 6 Q is OF. It is equal to Q times P plus 5 over 6 Q. Now what's going to happen is that Q is going to cancel out with this Q over here, and we are left with 5 over 6 times OF is equal to P plus 5 over 6 Q. Now we need OF by itself, so we're going to divide both sides by 5 over 6, okay? And we're going to get that OF is equal to, how do we solve this? This is 1 over 5 over 6. So on your calculator, you put 1 over 5 over 6 because it's 1p. So 1 over 5 over 6, you're going to get 6 over 5p. Plus, then 5 over 6 will cancel out with the 5 over 6q. So OF is equal to 6 over 5p plus q. That's very simply how we get it. So it is 6 over 5p plus q. Now for the last question, okay, they need the positive value of h if mx is equal to this and the magnitude is equal to this. to find the magnitude, okay, and we are dealing with a vector, okay, what we're gonna do is we are gonna do x squared plus y squared. So if you want to square both sides, so square it, then square it, you're gonna get 490 is equal to, because the square will cancel the radical, h squared minus, not minus, my bad, plus 9h squared. So 490 is equal to 10h squared. Divide both sides by 10. So h squared is equal to 49. So h is equal to plus or minus 7, but we will take the positive number because we cannot have a negative answer because they need the positive value. So we are gonna put 7. We move on to question number 4. Question number 4 has been repeated in many AMSs. KLMN is a parallelogram. LM is 5 centimeters, MN is 3 centimeters, and LN is 3.2 centimeters. So let us just graph it. We have LM 5, so this is also 5. MN is 3, so this over here is also 3. LN is then what? 3.2. So first of all, they need us to find the value of the angle. To find the value of the angle, very simply, you could apply the cosine rule. So the cosine rule states that cosine of the angle, we're going to call it angle x, is equal to side next to it squared plus side next to it squared minus opposite side squared over 2 times side next to it times side next to it. So if you put it on your calculator, 3 squared plus 5 squared minus 3.2 squared over 2 times 3 times 5, you are going to get 0.792. Then you're going to do shift cosine answer and you are going to get 37.6, which is approximately 38 degrees. Now they need us to find the area of the shaded region and the perimeter of the shaded region. First of all, to find the area of the shaded region, it is area of parallelogram minus area of sector. To find area of parallelogram, very simply, we know that the angle is 38 degrees. So we're going to take the 2 sides next to it, which is 3 and 5. We can multiply them together. So 3 times 5 times sine. So times sine the angle in between them, which is 38 degrees, minus the area of the sector. The area of any sector is its angle, which is 38 degrees over 360, multiplied by pi times the radius. If you read there, they would say that the radius is 1 centimeters. So times the radius squared. So if you put it on the calculator, 3 times 5 times sine 38, minus 38 over 360 times pi times 1 squared, you will get an answer which is 8.9, rounded approximately, it is then 9. We move on to the second part, which is to find the perimeter of the shaded region. To find the perimeter, you need to add all sides, so you're going to add this and this and this and this and this, okay? So it's 5 and 3, and then we know that this over here is 1 and 1. So this side becomes 5 minus 1, which is 4. This side becomes 3 minus 1, which is 2. And then we just need to find the length of the sector. To find the length of any sector, it is angle, which is 38 degrees over 360 times 2 times pi times the radius, which is 1. So on your calculator, 38 over 360 times 2 times pi times 1, you are going to get an answer of 0.66, okay? Then you are going to add this answer to what? To 4 plus 3 plus 5 plus 2. You're going to get an answer of 14.66. Rounded, it is approximately 15 centimeters. Okay? We move on to question number 5. Which of the following is the circumference? The equation for circumference is 2 pi r of a circle of radius 4 centimeters. So it becomes 2 times pi times 4. So 8 pi. We move on to question number 6. Which of the following is the area of the circle of radius 5? The area of any circle is pi r squared. So it becomes pi times 5 squared. So you can either write it like this or 25 pi. Here they did this trick. It's not this. This is a circumference. You read it very fast. You think it's 25 pi. But pay attention. It's 2 and in brackets 5 pi. No, us we need 5 squared pi. So it's going to be this one over here. We move on to question number 7. They said using pi 22 over 7, what is the area of the shaded region bounded by the arc AB and the chord AB? Very simply, what we're gonna do to find the area of the shaded region, it is the area of the sector minus area of triangle. So area of any sector, it is, so again, the area of any sector, it is the angle, which in this case is 90, over 360 times pi times its radius, which is 35 squared, then minus the area of any triangle. Okay, this one is a right triangle, so you can do a squared plus b squared, okay, equals c squared, and you put the radical to find the answer. You could do it like this, but to be safe, we don't know if it's always gonna come 90. So either way, we're gonna apply this rule. The area of any triangle is 1/2 times side times the other side, because since they are radius, both the sides are 35, so side times times sine the angle in between them. So put all of this on your calculator. Do not forget the brackets. They are very, very important. Okay. You are gonna get an answer of, also don't forget to put pi as 22/7. Sorry, I forgot to mention this. 350. So you are gonna put exactly the answer as 350. We move on to question number 8. This is a very simple question. They told us that the circumference of the circle is 12 pi. We know the circumference of any circle is 2 pi r. So 2 pi r is equal to 12 pi. Pi and pi will cancel. Divide both sides by 2, you get r is 6. They need the area of the circle. We know that the area of any circle is pi r squared. So we found the radius, it's 6. So it is pi times 6 squared. Okay, so very simply it becomes 36 pi. So the answer, they need it as k pi. They need the value of k, so k is gonna be 36. We move on to question number 9. Now here you have to pay attention. In the AMS, they chose QR not as this. This was QP. They chose QR as this. So Q was over here and R was over here. So please pay attention in the AMS how it was. Now, in the given figure, PQR is an arc of radius r and length 15. Now, there is many ways to do it. The first way, which is a long way, I'm gonna explain it, and then I will do the other way, which is a very simple way, which I think that everyone will prefer to do. So, we need to find the radius r. How do we find the radius r? We put the length, which is 15. It is equal to the angle. Now, how do we find the angle over here? We know that pi over 3, it is 180/3. Or if you cannot figure out what the angle is, just know if there is pi, it's 180, and then you put it over 3, you are gonna get what? You're gonna get 60 degrees. So this is 60 degrees, and this is 90 degrees. So in total, because we are dealing with arc PQR, it's gonna be 60 degrees plus 90 degrees, which is 150 degrees. So 150/360 times pi times the radius squared. So what you could do, okay, you're gonna do 15 divided by 150/360 times pi. You are gonna get an answer of 11.4591559. You're gonna do radical answer. You're gonna get 3.385. So over here, this is our radius. Okay, now to find the length of the arc QR, we're just gonna apply the same rule but the opposite way. So the length of any arc is its angle. So QR, its angle is 60/360 times pi times the radius that we found over here squared. Okay, please keep this on your calculator as exact. So it becomes 60/360 times pi times the radius squared, and you are gonna get an answer of 6. This is one way to do it. Now another way, which is really the easiest way. Very simply, 15, you put it over its angle, which is 60 plus 90, which is 150. It's equal to the length of the second, or like the arc we're looking for, which is QR, over its angle, which is 60. Then you do cross multiplication. 60 times 15/150, you will get 6. We move on to question number 10. Now this is a very important question. It may seem hard, but it's really very simple. A cone is cut along the line ON and is opened out into a sector as shown in the diagram below. They need the sector angle X in degrees. To find the sector angle X, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the circumference. There's two ways to do this again. We're gonna take the circumference of the smaller circle at the bottom to the bigger circle in the top. So imagine it as two circles, a big circle on top and a smaller circle in the bottom. The circumference of the smaller circle in the bottom, we know of any circle, it's 2 pi r. So the radius was given before, it is 4. So it becomes 2 times pi times 4. So it becomes 8 pi. Then we're going to divide it by the circumference of the bigger circle. We know that this is 10. So the circumference is 2 pi 10, which is 20 pi. You put 20 pi over here, you put it on your calculator, you are going to get 0.4. You multiply it by 360 and you are going to get 144 degrees. Now, another simpler way, it is very simply the radius of the bottom circle, okay? Or like the radius of the bottom with the radius of the slant length. So it becomes 4 centimeters, this radius of the smaller circle at the bottom, to the radius of the bigger circle on top, so over 10, it's equal to 0.4. Then 0.4 times 360, again, it is 144 degrees. Okay, now they need the area of the shaded region rounded to the nearest whole number. Very simply, the area of the shaded region, it's the area of the sector minus the area of the triangle. To find the area of the sector, it's the angle, which is 144 over 360 times pi times the radius, which is 10 squared, because remember, we're taking this sector. All right, minus the area of the triangle. Very simply, as we said, the area of any triangle, it is 1 over 2 times sine the angle in between the sides, which is 144, times side times side, so times 100, times 10 times 10. So if you put it on the calculator, 144 over 360 times pi times 10 squared minus 1 over 2 times sine 144 times 10 times 10, you are gonna get 96.3, approximately rounded, it is 96. So the answer is 96. We're gonna move on to question number 11. Now here there's many ways to do this, but if you could imagine it with me. The surface of a right rectangular prism. This is a right rectangular prism. It looks something like this. Okay? And we have this side over here, like this, and like this. It's like a big tissue box. Take your tissue box and imagine it like this. They told us that the side lengths are 6 centimeters and 4 centimeters. So let us take the side length as this one and this one. So always the smaller one is the width, so it's gonna be 4 centimeters, and the bigger one is the length, which is 6 centimeters as well. And they told us that the height of the tissue box is 10 centimeters. And now they need us to find the surface area. What you could do, okay? How I do it personally, the surface area is equal to the total area. So you find the area of everything, okay? And you add it together. Now let's think about it like very wisely, very like intellectually. Each side has an opposite and equal side. So instead of multiplying this plus and times this, then adding it again, we can do 2 times, because each side, so this square has its opposite side over here, and this side has its opposite side over here, and this side over here has its opposite side over here. So we can do just 2 times, because you can take 2 as a common factor, okay? Then you can multiply each one by each one. So this, we can start like 4 times 10. Then you're gonna add it to another shape, which is 4 times 6. Then you're gonna add it to another shape, which is 6 times 10. And then on your calculator, you're gonna put it 2 times 4 times 10 plus 4 times 6 plus 6 times 10, and you're gonna get 248. Okay, we move on to question number 12. Fill in each blank with a whole number. A solid cylinder has a volume of 125 pi centimeter cubed. Now we have to memorize the volumes of the shape. Okay, so for example, the volume of a cylinder is pi r squared h. Okay, it's equal to 125 pi. We know that the height is 5, so pi r squared 5 is equal to 125 pi. Cancel pi and pi, divide both sides by 5. R squared is equal to 25, so very simply r is equal to 5. Now, a solid cone with height 9 centimeters is attached to the cylinder to make a new solid. Now, if they are attached on top of each other, then most definitely they have the same radius. We already know the volume of the cylinder at the bottom. It is 125 pi. Let us find the volume of the cone on top. The volume of any cone, it is 1 over 3 times pi r squared h. Okay? Just remember, any cone, 1 over 3 pi r squared h. We know that the radius is 5. 1 over 3 times pi times 5 squared, and we are given the height to be 9. So put it on your calculator. 1 over 3 times pi times 5 squared times 9, you are going to get 75 pi. So very simply, we're going to add both of them, and we are going to get 200 pi cubic centimeters as our answer. Now this one, it is about similarity ratios. A solid similar to that of part B has a volume of 5,400 pi centimeter cubed. The radius of the cylinder of this new solid is, very simply, we're going to take new volume over old volume. It's equal to constant to the power of 3. Okay? And then we know that constant, it is equal to new radius over old radius. Okay? So, our new volume, in this case, it is 5,400 pi, over our old volume, which we found to be 200 pi. If you put it on the calculator, you will get 27. But that means k to the power of 3 is equal to 27, so k is equal to 3. Okay? So 3 is equal to the new radius, which we need to find, over the old radius, which is 5. Very simply multiply. New radius is then equal to 15 centimeters. We move on to question number 13. The volume of a sphere of radius 6 centimeters is what pi cubic centimeters? The volume of any sphere is 4 over 3 pi r to the power of 3. This is the volume of any sphere. It has a radius of 6 centimeters. So on the calculator, you are going to put 4 over 3 times pi times 6 to the power of 3. So you're going to get 288 pi. Now, the sphere is placed in a cylindrical container of radius 7 centimeters filled with 1 liter of water as shown in the diagram. They need the height of the water in the container. To find the height of the water in the container, first of all, we know that it was filled with 1 liter, which is 1,000 centimeter cubed. Okay? And we found that the volume of the sphere is 288 pi. So if you added the sphere to the water, that means the volumes should be added. So new volume is equal to volume of water plus volume of sphere. So it becomes 1,000 centimeter cubed plus 288 pi. So you are going to get approximately new volume is equal to 1,905 centimeter cubed. Now we know that the volume of any cylinder, it is pi r squared h. They gave us that the radius of the cylinder, not the sphere, of the cylinder is 7, so it becomes pi times 7 squared times h is equal to 1905 centimeter to the power of 3. So 1905 divided by pi times 7 to the power of 2, you are going to get 12.3, almost 12.4. So around it, it is going to stay as 12 centimeters. We move on to question number 14. Now, this is about vectors. Okay, this is a pretty simple question. Okay. So, given that u is equal to 5 over minus 2, okay, if v is equal to minus 8u and v is m, and then find m and n. Very simply, this is just a case about multiplication. So if v is minus 8u, that means 5 times minus 8 is m, and minus 2 times minus 8 is n. So you're going to get an answer of minus 40 and 16. So m is minus 40 and n is 16. We move on to question number 15. Given mn which is minus 2, 5, and m, which is 2, 4, we need to find the coordinates of n. Okay? Mn, as you can see, the initial point or the starting point is at m, and the terminal point is at n. So when we're looking for n, that means we're looking for the terminal point. And very simply, to find the value of the terminal point, it's the initial point plus vector. So it becomes 2 plus minus 2, and then 4 plus 5. So we're going to get an answer of 0, because 2 plus minus 2 is 0, and then 5 plus 4 is 9. We move on to question number 16. They need us to find the magnitude of this vector. Very simply, the magnitude of any vector, it is going to be x squared plus y squared. So radical x squared plus y squared. So radical 1 squared plus 20 squared, which is radical 401. So it's radical k. They need the value of k. So we're not going to put radical 401. We're just going to put the answer, which is under the radical, which is 401. Okay? Now here, this is different. They need the magnitude of AB. All right? So the magnitude of the ray AB, and we are given what? We're given the initial point, which is A, and the terminal point, which is B. So what we're going to do is the radical terminal minus initial, so 6 minus 4 squared, okay? Then we are going to add it to what? 2. Again, the y of the terminal minus the y of the initial, so plus 4 minus 1 squared. So if you put it on your calculator, radical 6 minus 4 squared plus 4 minus 1 squared, you are going to get an answer of radical 109. Again, they need the value of k, which is under the radical, so it is then 109. Here we have, okay, given u is 5, 7, and v is 11, 15, and we are given the initial point of u plus v is 4, 9. Now they need the terminal point. Okay, so pay attention. U plus v, its initial point is what? It is 4. And its terminal, its x is 4 of the initial point. And its y of the initial point is 9. Now, they said u plus v. So what we're going to do is we're going to add u and we're going to add v. So u plus v, it's going to give us, we're just going to write u plus v. 5 plus 11, which is 16. And then 7 and 22. Okay? So 7 plus 15 will give us 22. Now what we're going to do is we are going to add uv to the initial point, because what you need to know is that the terminal point is equal to the initial plus vector. Okay? So terminal point is equal to initial plus vector. That means we're going to add x with x. So 4 plus 16, you're going to get 20. Okay? And then 22 plus 9, you are going to get 31. So our answer is then 20 and 31. We move on to question number 19. They need the common difference of this arithmetic progression. So very simply, you're going to take second and first, you're going to subtract them. So 5 minus 2, you are going to get 7. So the common difference is going to be 7. Now, what is the value of A11 in the arithmetic progression A1, A2, A3, with A1 being 5 and a common difference of 2? Now, the equation for arithmetic progression, very simply, it is what? It is, AN, that looks like a Q, AN, it is equal to A1, okay, plus n minus 1 times the common difference. So, what does it mean? In this case, we need A11. So, A11, n is going to be 11. So, our number n is 11. It's equal to A1, which is the first term, which is 5, plus n minus 1. So, 11 minus 1, which is then 10, times the common difference, which is 2. So, very simply, A11 is going to be 5 plus 10 times 2, which is 25. So, very simply, the answer is then 25. We move on to question number 21. They need us to find the, given this arithmetic progression, they need us to find the sum of the first 15 terms of this progression. Very simply, the sum of the number of terms is equal to the number of terms over 2 multiplied by A1, which is the first A, plus AN, which is A of the number that we need to find. Now, if you want to find it all in one go, there is another equation, which is Sn, okay? So S, the number of terms, is equal to n over 2 times 2a, so 2 of the first a, plus n minus 1, so the number minus 1 times d. So we are going to apply both ways. If you were to apply this rule or this method, okay, we would have to use also the other equation, which is the equation we did in number 20, which is an is equal to a1 plus n minus 1 times d. So let us try it, okay? 15, we need to find a15. It is equal to a1, which is 3, plus n minus 1, so 15 minus 1, times the common difference. How do we find the common difference? 8 minus 3, it is 5, okay? So 3 plus 15 minus 1 times 5, we are gonna get it to be 73. Now we're gonna put over here Sn, which is S15. It is equal to 15 over 2 times A1, which is 3, plus An, which is 73. So let us try it on the calculator. And we are gonna get 570. So this is our answer, which is 570. Now, if we were to try it in the other way, which happens in one go, it's going to be S15 is equal to 15 over 2 times A1, which is 3, okay, plus n minus 1, so 15 minus 1 times the common difference, which is 8, minus 3, which is 5. So it becomes, very simply, 15 over 2 times 2 times 3 plus 15 minus 1 times 5, and you are also going to get an answer of 570. So very simply, our answer for this question is 570. We move on to question number 22. They said, what's the common difference of the arithmetic progression un equals this? Look, very simply, remember the equation. The equation is an is equal to a1 plus n minus 1 times d. Okay, now d is usually multiplied by the numbers, okay, by the number of turns. So in this case, 101 is going to be our difference. This is one way to do it, but if you want a really accurate way, which I prefer you do it like this. You're going to take one value. Let us say you took u2, okay? So u2, it's going to be 101 times 2 minus 6, so 196, okay? And then you're going to take one value less than it, which is u1. Very simply, it's going to be 101 times 1 minus 6, which is 95. Then subtract both of them, 196 minus 95, you are going to get 101. So both cases, we got 101. So that means the common difference, it is 101. So moving on to question number 23, they said, an is an arithmetic progression with first term 105 and common difference 7. What is the 41st term of this sequence? Remember, we need to find the term, not the sum. So the equation is an is equal to a1, okay, plus n minus 1 times the common difference. So an, it's going to be a41. It's equal to a1, which is 105, plus n, which is 41, minus 1 times the common difference, which is 7. You see, they gave us everything. Just put the equation. Okay, just memorize the equation and your life is going to be much easier. You're going to get an answer of 385. So very simply, 385. We move on to question number 24. They said an is an arithmetic progression with first term 500, common difference minus 9. Now here they need what? They need, again, the 41st term of this sequence. What we're going to do is we're going to apply the rule again. an is equal to a1 plus n minus 1 times d. By now, I'm pretty sure you should have memorized it. So an is a41. It is equal to a1, which is 500 plus n minus 1, so 41 minus 1 times the common difference, which is minus 9. Put it on your calculator, 500 plus 41 minus 1 times minus 9. You are going to get an answer of 140. So that means our answer is 140. We move on to question number 25. They need the sum of the first 20 terms in arithmetic progression. And we are given what? The 18th term and the 38th, the 20th term. So look here, we don't have to find the 20th term. It's already given to us and they already gave us the first term. So we are going to apply the sum rule, but now the sum of the number, it's going to be equal to number over 2 multiplied by a1, the first term, plus an. And here, because the 20th term is given to us, we just need to apply this rule. So S20 is equal to 20 over 2 times 18 plus 38. Let us put it on the calculator. So 20 over 2 times 18 plus 38. We're going to get an answer of 560. So 560 is our answer. Now, the last and final question, which is question number 26, a very simple question. They need the area of the sector. The area of any sector is angle over 360 times pi times the radius squared. So on the calculator, it's 108 over 360 times 10 squared times pi. You are going to get 30 pi. So very simply, our answer is 30 pi. Let us submit and hopefully we do not have any mistakes. And thank God there are no mistakes. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed and have a wonderful day.